RMC Wildcat. By now, the entire coaster community is well aware of this project, and it's safe to say that it's extremely likely that it's happening. This project is an interesting one that nobody saw coming. Just kidding, everyone and their brother was expecting this to happen. In fact, while I was writing the script for this video, I completely forgot that I called this happening over 2 years ago. So let's just say this wasn't a shock to anyone. But still, this will have a giant impact on Hersheypark and the coaster industry in general, so let's dive right in. So let's start off simple. What does RMC Wildcat mean for Hersheypark? Well, on a basic simple level, this tells us that Hersheypark is going to have one of the best coaster collections on the entire East Coast, with them being one of only a few parks to have 2 hypercoasters and an RMC. This is exciting for anyone who lives near the park or visits Hersheypark often. RMC Wildcat seems like a no-brainer. They took a rough ride that nobody liked and RMC decided to do something awesome with it. But it's important to know that RMC likely wasn't the only option. If you don't know, Wildcat was actually the first GCI, leaving it with some sentimental value for Great Coasters International. So that led many to believe that the original coaster could have had another option, and that was Titan Track. We've never seen a full-scale Titan Track conversion, however many coaster enthusiasts thought that this was definitely a possibility. And interesting enough, it was. Recently, GCI released a statement that hints to the fact that they were at least considered for the project, and this means a lot for the coaster industry. Basically, it was revealed that GCI has quote-unquote lost the bid for the Wildcat project, meaning that they were not only in the running, but also seriously considered for it. This is very exciting for coaster enthusiasts. Not only are we going to get a spectacular RMC, but we also know that GCI is one step closer to becoming a major player in the hybrid coaster industry. For them even to be considered against RMC is a huge deal. That means they have developed an awesome project that we should see relatively soon. So this could change the coaster industry as we know it. But let's just take a step back and look at RMC Wildcat as a whole. The layout of the original Wildcat isn't a very conventional one, meaning that RMC is once again going to have to be creative. And we know from past experiences that when RMC is forced to be creative, their coasters are usually much more unique and are oftentimes even better rides. This alone is a giant positive for the coaster industry. And this is also awesome for RMC. I feel like a broken record when I say this, but they currently don't have too many wooden coasters left in the United States to convert into RMC hybrids. They've been such a successful company that I'd say the US will probably only get maybe 4 or 5 RMC conversions after Wildcat. So this is awesome that they get to do this. So this also confirms that Hersheypark is trying to be one of the top players in the amusement industry, and this RMC will definitely help make this a destination for coaster enthusiasts. So let's touch on what this means for Hersheypark and what's next for the park. Hersheypark isn't your conventional theme park, so it's very difficult to make predictions for it. However, in the past years, they've been focusing on 2 main things: overall general park improvements and giant coasters. We have seen the general park improvements in the form of Jolly Rancher Remix and Chocolate Town and so many others, but we've also seen Candemonium and now RMC Wildcat. It seems like the park is trying to strike a balance between thrill and overall park enhancements. So this means RMC Wildcat does not mean Hersheypark's sole focus is now on coasters. No, the park is likely going to continue focusing on their half and half strategy of half overall improvements and half coaster additions. If you look at Hersheypark's recent additions, you'll notice a theme of rounding out the coaster collection by improving the rides at the bottom of the barrel. We saw this with Sidewinder and now Wildcat. Hersheypark is doing something that I wish a lot of parks would do. They're making an effort to improve all of their rides, not just add new ones, but to fix their coaster collection by improving it from the inside. Whether that means getting rid of old rides like Wildcat or even just fixing a boomerang. Hersheypark is definitely heading in the right direction. So before I sign off and end the video, I'm going to throw out some random predictions about Hersheypark and some things that I hope to see in the future. First off, I think it's very likely that we're going to see another water park addition or even a water park expansion in the near future. The water park is pretty good and it's been receiving substantial investment in the past couple of years, so I definitely see them continuing this trend. The second prediction is somewhat of a controversial one, And this is that I suspect the park is going to focus more on candy and chocolate theming in the future. A lot of people for some reason do not like this idea, but I definitely see them furthering this trend in the future because I think it's going to work. Chocolate and candy is sort of Hersheypark's icon, and I think it should be. With the additions like Chocolate Town, Reese's Cup Fusion, and now Jolly Rancher Remixed, I think it is 100% that they're going to go in this direction. Now, I don't think they're going to name Wildcat some candy ride like Twisted Twizzle or something like that, but who knows? I think that's highly unlikely, but at this point, anything could happen. And thirdly, I suspect that we will see some type of expansion to Chocolate Town within the next decade. So those are my thoughts on Hersheypark and RMC Wildcat. So make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I make sure to read each and every one of them. This is the Coaster Josh, signing out.